Before we get out to the smoker, these are just some wooden dowels, simple from the hardware store. And all we're going to do is load them up like this for smoking. It's a lot easier. You fit more in there, you get more done. So I'm just going to get these loaded up, and when I'm all done all this stuff, we're going to head out to the smokehouse. So I'll just set this one down right here, but you see how easy that is? And when we get out there, I'll spread them out more so they can hang. So let me finish loading these up, and I'm going to bring you out to the fun part, the Bradley smoker, and we're going to get some sausages made. Oh, actually, you know what? I almost forgot. The air bubbles. What you want to do with air bubbles. Let me get a knife. Forgot to do that. Just look through. If you find anywhere you see some obvious air bubbles, pop them out. Nothing's gonna... You can't put enough, you can't put too many in. They seal up. These casings naturally seal. Nothing's gonna come out or squirt. You're not gonna lose any juices. In fact, you're gonna have a terrible product if you don't try to get the air out, especially the obvious air, because it'll wreck your smoking and wreck your cooking with that void in there. So I'm just gonna take a minute to look through here. Right there's one. Little poke. And get these air bubbles out. I'm going to get them on these dowels, and then we're going to head out to the smoker. So let me do this and we'll head out to the smoker. Okay, so we're outside here. It's winter in Canada and it's windy. You're probably wondering why the heck I'm doing it inside my big shed here. That's because the wind can really knock the temperature out of these things really, really quick. But we need to insert these, and you want to put these sausages and hang them in a preheated smoker to 130 degrees Fahrenheit for about an hour just to dry before we hit them with smoke. So it's going to cool off when you put them in here, but for the winter, so for that reason I'm actually going to add an extra 20 minutes. So what I'm going to do is, I'll open the door and show you what it looks like. I want to get them hung in here. I'll show you what it looks like when I'm all done. Okay, shut her off. Okay, so here we go. Here's the sausages hanging. As you can see, they're all pretty spaced out. Just taking a look, you should be able to see air through them all. Ones you don't, move them over. Make some room. Shouldn't be crowded. You don't really want them touching. So, yeah, they look good. During the smoking process, I'm going to come out here and rotate them anyways. But for now, that's them. You see one of them, we didn't have enough to do with loops, we're just hanging it. So I'm going to shut the door and dry them. I'm going to give them about an hour and 20 minutes, an hour and a half. This is a Bradley smoker. This is, you control your temperature, you control your smoke. Best way to do it, especially if you don't have all day to sit here. Like, set this. The reason for drying these out is if you hit them with smoke right now, there's a lot of moisture in the outside of those casings from the water running them through and stuff. The smoke will go out and they call it like a black rain. It's like a tarry stuff that'll get on the inside of your smoker and start to drip down on your meat. It's not good. Plus, you also want to get those casings dry, tacky to touch. That way that smoke's gonna penetrate good. At 130, obviously you're not cooking, but it's a good way to start bringing that meat up to temperature, and it helps with that curing agent to help start curing the meat. So it's as simple as this, folks. Once we start ready to get to the smoke part, we'll turn it up. I'm going to give it about 4 hours of smoke. There is so many kinds of smoke you can use as far as blends of wood. Reality, all it's important is that you're using a hardwood, which Bradley pucks are. Unless you're smoking for 8 hours, you're not going to be able to tell much of a difference in the flavor unless you're going to something like alder, which has a very distinct flavor, which is good for fish. For myself, special blend is what I'm using right here. There's some hickory and apple along in these tubes as well. I'll show you how they fill up. They're very easy. Oh, luckily they fell out in the box. These are the pucks. Put them in. Done deal. There you go. And when we do start the actual smoking process, there's a tray in there with some water, believe it or not, on the bottom you got to fill up. And we'll get to that at the time. You fill it with hot water. That's for these pucks when they're done perning. As they go through the cycle thing, they drop in that water pan. But as you see, we're already down to 88 degrees Fahrenheit. It's supposed to be at 130. That's why we're going to add the extra 20 minutes to half an hour. This is the part where just take your time. We're not going to finish cooking them in the smoker. You can. The reality is, there's no need to, and I'll show you why. You want good sausages, you'll love the way these things turn out. So, we'll come back in an hour and a half. We'll apply the smoke, show you what she looks like. Take a look at them to make sure they're still good and dry, and we'll go from there. Be back in a bit. Okay. Alright, so we're back. You can see if I checked it out earlier, that's why my temperature's not up to 130. They've been in here for about an hour. I checked them out, they should be good. Got my water pan on top I'm going to put in there, but I'll open this door and show you guys a quick look. Get the water pan in. So if you take a look, you can see they're starting to turn that nice light brown color. They're steaming a little bit. That's dry. You touch them, they're dry. That's simple. You don't like to leave the door open too much, but with the buoy I have to. So I set this in here, and I'll turn the smoker on. So all I do is just press on smoke. I want it for 4 hours. It should preload, and I'll double check that it's got a puck in there. You see it dropping down. There we go. And I'm just going to double check by looking. Yep, there's a puck in there. That's it. So I want it for 4 hours. That's perfect. And I'm just going to add a couple more pucks, because we're going to take off here. Well, I guess we'll be back in a couple hours. I'm going to leave them for 2 hours. And I'm going to turn the temperature up to about 140. So oven temp set. 145, but we'll stick with 140, I guess. Leave it there, and in 2 hours, then I'll turn it up to 150. Really, even if you were going to cook them all in the smoker, you'd leave them in for a lot longer. But for how we're cooking today, this is the way it's going to go. So we'll leave it like this. I'm going to just partially, you always want to leave your dampers open enough. I want to close them a little bit because I really want to give it some heavy smoke. Actually, you know what, I'll close them in 2 hours and I come back because they're still going to be doing the drying process. So that's it. I'll come back in 2 hours and I'll show you how they look. But this is how simple this is, guys. Okay, so if you look down here, it's been about 2 hours. We're going to check them out. I'm going to do a rotation on them. Typically, because the ones in the back will get more heat, the way the Bradley is, the heating element's in the back corner, so the heat will rise up in the top, so you'll get more cooking at the ones in the back. So it's good to rotate them. It's good when you do this with any type of stuff. I opened the door to the shed here about 10 minutes ago to let air out, because you can cold smoke in here if you wanted to. It gets pretty full. So, and the nice thing is you didn't put the quads in here right now, so we got room to do smoking. But here we go. There they are. Look how beautiful these are. So you can see they're just getting that nice dark color, not even close to cook. But if you look down to the bottom, you see these ones are getting a lot browner, a lot more closer to the smoke. This is part of the reasons why you want to do the rotation. So I'm just going to lift these out temporarily. Just set them in here. Lift these out. You'll see these ones are getting a little more darker on that side. That's because of the heat. Set those there. And we're going to give these at least another 2 hours of smoke. So I'll hang these in here. And then I'll move them back, or give them another couple hours at least, I should say. And these ones here are going to move closer to the front so they don't get as much heat. So I'm just going to space these out. Make sure there's nice room between them. The owls are a little short. We need to cut some longer ones. A little disappointed with that, but oh well. Now these ones, if you guys can smell this. So there we go again. Hold it steady. Like I said, I wish these dowels were a little longer so we're looking at the yards. But either way, here we are. Now of course the smoker is going to be cooled right back down, especially with the wind going through here. But I'm going to close this back up and give it another 2 hours, and then from there I'll show you what we do with it from there. So we'll come back in a couple hours. Okay, so we've been about 4 hours in the smoker. We had to open the door again to let it clear. It's Canada, so it's dark. It's only about 6:30. We're going to open this up, let all that clear out, and try to get in there, and you'll see they are a nice, look at that color. Look how beautiful those are. Those are going to be delicious. So I'm going to show you how we're going to finish these. You'll notice I haven't done anything with checking the internal temperature yet because it really doesn't matter to me. I'm going to guess they're around 130, but I'll show you how we're going to do that. A quick and easy way, and they're delicious. So next step, I'll show you guys, is we're going to do the poaching. The poaching is going to be done at well, I'll wait and I'll show you as I get to it. So I'll show you guys from here.